start off by introducing yourself and letting us know how you got involved in the industry?
So, hello, my name is Jerome Martin, and I got my start in the industry actually as a model 100 years ago. I started out as a model in Dallas, Texas, with Kim Dawson, and moved to the other side within a couple of years of being in the industry. And I became a modeling agent in Dallas with Paige Parks, and then I moved to Miami with Paige Parks there. And while there, I really got exposed to a lot of actors and musicians. It was a lot of everything happening in Miami. This was like the late 90s. And it was just entertainment coming together in Miami. So I was exposed to a lot. And I became really interested in more of the talent side. So I started working with actors and musicians and encouraging many of the models to transition into acting. And at the time, people that were on my roster for the Miami market were people like Justin Chambers, who has been on Grey's Anatomy for the run. I think his character just exit Grey's Anatomy this past season. Shamar Moore, who went on to do The Young and the Restless and has been on CBS for the last 20 years. And a little client named Angelina Jolie. You know, I saw these models making the transition, and Charlize Theron was also someone that was in the Miami market at the time. And I was just watching these models really take off. And I was like, I want to be a part of that. I was also frustrated because I was watching our clients leave. And though Charlize wasn't our client, but just really focused on the clients that we represented at Page Parks that were getting into acting. And many of them, I saw that side of them and encouraged that in someone like Shamar Moore. Someone just beat me to it. And the same thing with Justin Chambers. I always selected models that were like these unique characters, you know, these really interesting personalities that had interest beyond just modeling. So it was really unique individuals that I was looking forward to represent in the market. So when I watched these particular models become successful in the acting space, that's also was at the time that like Cameron Diaz's career was taking off and Jessica Alba. And these were all models that were with different agencies at the time. So I said, you know, I want to be at the forefront of that. You know, I've got to leave Miami. I've got to go to Los Angeles. And so I went to Los Angeles, which is where I am now. And I started working as an assistant at Abrams Artist Talent Agency, you know, which was a great talent agency for, you know, starting talent. And then I left there and I went to Ford Models and I convinced them to start a management division at Ford Models to kind of help transition models into acting.
That's amazing. And Audra's always saying that it's important for models to be able to move in front of the moving camera as well as just as important as it is for them to be able to move in front of the still camera.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so what does a typical day for you look like now as a manager?
A typical day for me is usually getting up at 6:30 in the morning, doing my prayer and meditation to kind of peacefully enter into my day. And then from there, I get into my emails to kind of see what's going on because I represent more multi-hyphenate talent. I've always worked with models, actors, musicians slash actors or sports figures. Um, so they can be all around the world. So I can wake up in the morning to an email from a client in Paris or Asia, Australia. So it's usually me going through my emails and responding to emails, organizing my day as far as priority of calls that I need to make in regards to clients. I then start the top of the day with a conversation with my assistant, going over the task list from the day before, looking and creating our task list for the day, which includes my call sheets, the number of calls that I need to make. That could mean reaching out to brands. It could mean reaching out to a casting director, a director, or setting a meeting or call with one of my clients or with their team, the agency, the publicist, you know? So I organize what I have to get done for that day with my assistant to make sure that she keeps me on task throughout the day and that we get it accomplished. And then, of course, you're going to get those last minute, unexpected calls, that's going to interrupt your day with things you hadn't anticipate, that you need fires to be put out, additional calls. Sometimes it's me, honestly, leaving the office and run into a meeting that I didn't have on my schedule. It's canceling things and run into a meeting, or a client wants me to come to set. There's an issue. Or even a client's like, I need you to get on a plane and come to New York, or come to wherever they are. And I've literally, with 3 to 4 hours notice, gotten on a plane and gone anywhere in the world at a client's request.
Can you just explain to us what Macro is all about, who they work with and represent, and the really important message behind the company?
Yeah. So Macro is a production entertainment company. It's a leading authority in telling the stories of people of color. That's Macro's mission: creating content for and by people of color, but for all people to consume that are interested in being entertained by great content. That really is the focus of Macro, is really to uplift those voices that have not been so prominent in our industry over the years. I'm pretty fortunate to have been invited to join this company. It's been in existence for 5 years. I just came aboard a little over 6 months ago.
Wow.
But Charles King, the founder of the company, is someone that I've known for 18 years. We got together to work with a couple of clients that I've worked with. I actually met Charles 18 years ago. I met Charles 18 years ago when he was an agent at William Morris, which is now WME. And he was on the team for my then model crossover client, Tyrese Gibson. So we got to work together with Tyrese Gibson for a number of years. Following that, we had an opportunity to work with the icon herself, Janet Jackson, and Ciara. But Charles' other clients included Black Panther director Ryan Coogler, actor Michael B. Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry, were just to name a few of his clients. So he was a very successful agent in this business. But I always knew that he had a bigger plan. He had spoke about it and talked about it. And 5 years ago, he brought it to fruition with his mission to create this platform to elevate talent and persons of color, as well as of the LGBT community, an all-inclusive, diverse management company and production company. And his first film, the first film that Macro produced, was with Denzel Washington, Fences, which of course won an Oscar for Best Actress in the Best Actress category. So from there, he did Mudbound, and now we have Macro has 2 series on Netflix: Raising Dion, which is in partnership with Michael B. Jordan, and Hentified, a Latin American series. So about 6 months ago, Charles decided he wanted to launch Macro Management. And Macro Management, though it is under the Macro umbrella, we operate separately from Macro, the production arm. So Macro Management, we focus on managing talent, actors, directors, writers, producers. We also have an additional division, Uncommon, which represents talent in the digital space. Your influencers, your digital content creators on YouTube, and they also represent brands. So together, our common mission and goal is to uplift and amplify the voices of persons of color.
So can you briefly describe what the Macro Episodic Lab is?
The Macro Episodic Lab is more of a contest that Macro, the production arm, has created. Again, to really find those voices. It's one thing to be here in Hollywood and have a script, and have a story and to already have an agent, and to have relationships. It's another thing to be in Canada, Topeka, Kansas, or the middle of nowhere, Texas, and you have this amazing script that you've written, and you're like, how do I get from here to Hollywood? And that's what Macro is setting out to do. It's setting out to create this competition to encourage writers all over the world, to submit their scripts to this competition, and an opportunity to have their script turned into a television series or digital series with the tutelage of Eva Longoria and Lena Waithe, So that person will get, if I'm not mistaken, $30,000 and create the opportunity to create their television series with these two mentors and Charles King from Macro.
What qualities do you look for in a new face prior to representing them? So obviously there's ability, but then look, age, location.
It's all about, it's the look. And it's not so much a look, meaning that you have to look like a model, but a look that demands my attention. I've just gotten off a Zoom meeting with a young Nigerian actress, content creator who lives in London. And I was watching this IG Live interview that she was doing just with a stylist friend of mine that I support. The stylist friend of mine was doing an IG Live interview, and she was interviewing this young lady. And I just started watching, and I was like, wow, there's something really special about her. She's beautiful, she's articulate, she has a real point of view, she's engaging, she's captivating, she's fun. And I was like, that's someone who I think fits the Macro brand, So I reached out to my friend and said, hey, can you put me in touch with this young lady? And so we just had a great Zoom meeting. So I'm hoping that we'll sign her. But she just caught my attention with her wonderful personality.
That's a perfect segue into my next question for you. So can you talk about why personality and confidence are so important in this industry?
Personality is so important. A friend of mine, another colleague of mine would say, when she's selecting talent, one of the big tests for her is to say, could I sit next to this person on a plane flight for 15 hours to the other side of the world to go and do a shoot? If I can't say yes, I don't want to represent that person, which means likely no one wants to be on set with that person for 15 hours. So you're looking for someone who's engaging, who's genuine, who really has a strong point of view. I think that's probably the most important thing to me, is representing talent who has a strong point of view. Whether I agree with that point of view or not, as long as I respect that point of view, that you are so convicted and committed to your point of view, that you're just not so easily swayed with the wind. Talent feels like, I've got to be thin, I've got to be curvy, I've got to be funny, I've got to be smart. I just want you to be genuinely you and committed to your point of view. That's what's so, because I have enough maybe of this. I don't need another of that, because you've seen this famous client that I represent and you're like, I want to be just like that, or I can be just like that. Well, I'm not necessarily looking for another version of that. You know, I'm looking for individuals.
What kind of photos are necessary for talent to be promoted in the industry?
You know, I think it's important to have a great headshot. You know, I think it's still valuable to have a great headshot and a shot that really a casting director, director, or brand could look at that and visualize you in their story or in their advertising. So it's important that you show that versatility, that you are easily adaptable and a chameleon.
What can a new face do to prepare for a great showing at CMTC?
I think it's so important to train, really focus, and really be prepared and visualize what you really want to get out of this experience. You know, I talk about how I start my day. You know, I set my intentions for the day. And I think talent they really have to come and set their intention to have a game plan for attending this. You know, you have to be focused, you know, and you got to enjoy yourself too. You don't want to come and be so serious and so uptight and so strictly focused on this, but I think you should come, set clear intentions that you're going to come, you're going to make a great impression, you're going to perform in your area of expertise to the best of your ability. You're going to be engaging, you know, and you're really going to allow your true self to shine. That's what I think is really going to be important to win. And be prepared. Please be prepared. Show up with your game face and be prepared.
So last question. Okay, it's a two-parter.
Okay.
We'll start off with, what are you looking for at CMTC?
What I'm looking for, you know, I'm really looking for unique individuals. I'm looking for actors. I'm looking for models. We're also looking for talent that maybe never thought about exploring the digital space, you know? And then there's talent out there that's doing amazing things in the digital space, but they feel like they have to become a model or they have to be an actress. No, you can create your own content. And we have a division here at Macro Uncommon that can work to develop talent in the digital space, whereas you can create your own fashion blog. Maybe you're not just a model. Maybe you decide you want to become a fashion blogger. You'll use your look in choosing and working with designers and showcasing their designs on your blog. You know, we can help you partner with brands. So we're looking for just individuals that can fit into all areas of Macro, maybe even talent that I may see, knowing that there's a project that Macro is in the midst of producing and that they're casting, and maybe I'm keeping an eye out on talent that may be right for that opportunity, whether it's a child, a young teen, or an adult.
Amazing. So much opportunity, especially with the new media. It's crazy.
So much opportunity. And that's what we really want to see. I really love multi-hyphenate talent. You know, I would love to meet talent that says, you know, I'm an actress or I'm an actor, but I also want to create my own content. Here, look at what I've done already on YouTube. This is something that I just shot with my iPhone, you know, me and a couple of friends. Or I want to start my own blog. Look, this is what I've been doing. I really am looking forward to meeting really creative people who have a unique point of view and that are interested in, you know, multiple areas of entertainment.
Okay, and your last piece of advice for those attending CMTC?
To have fun. I think it's important just to come and enjoy and have fun. If you are well prepared, you'll be able to have fun. If you've waited to the last minute to get prepared and you're scrambling throughout the 4 days, it's not going to be a lot of fun. So prepare in advance so that you can really just enjoy this process, get to meet several people, and that I will have an opportunity to sit and talk with you, and you'll be in a space that you can enjoy having a conversation and not frantic because your mind is on the next competition or the next thing that you have to do because you're unprepared. I really want you to come prepared, enjoy the process, and be fully present throughout the process.
We're so excited to have you in 2021.
Yes, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it. I, over the years, have traveled to Canada for Ford and different agencies that I work for, and always found amazing talent in Canada. Professional, well-trained, and really just genuine, nice people. So I'm looking forward to getting the opportunity to see what the best of Canada is at the moment.